Hey there, Andy here. I am joined today by Jim Kahrs of Prosperity Plus Management and Consulting. How are you today, Jim?
I'm good, Andy. How you doing?
I am great. You were, as we joked earlier, you're about as far away from me in the state of New York as you can possibly be, out in the end of Long Island there. I'm in Western New York. Tell me, how's everybody doing out there? How's your company? How's your family? How's Long Island doing today?
You know, knock wood, family-wise, company-wise, everybody is good. You know, we kind of being where we are, and we referred to the epicenter here in downstate New York. We moved out of our office on March 19th. I've been working. Everybody's working remotely at that point, and life now is pretty much spent mostly at home and run to the office on occasion to get the mail and pick up some groceries. And so knock wood, not a huge impact, but obviously seeing a lot of impact around us. I mean, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on.
So tell me a little bit about Prosperity Plus. You guys, you're a longtime consulting company. You help dealers in all sorts of areas. I know you're very active with acquisitions, but you do quite a bit more. Why don't you give us a little background on who you guys are?
Yeah, sure. We're actually coming up on very shortly our 19th anniversary of starting the company in 2001. And just kind of interesting as a side note, when I started Prosperity Plus, it was July 2001. And I think we all know what happened in September 2001. Basically brand new company, got to deal with 9/11. So, we've been through, these types of things. We had Hurricane Sandy, 8 years ago that, wiped out a bunch of stuff on Long Island. But as far as the company, we do merger acquisition. So, we help folks that are looking to buy or sell an organization. We help with valuation or succession planning. We also got a couple of folks on the team that do marketing programs for dealers and basically work as like an outsourced marketing department to cover some of the things that the expertise just isn't there on staff. And then we do a lot of one-on-one consulting. That's where the company started, and a lot of what we still do today, where we work with independent dealerships to help them really achieve the goals that they're looking to achieve. And that's where there's been just recently a huge demand from our current clients on how do we navigate this thing? How do we best take advantage of the programs that are out there? And what do we do with our employees? Should we furlough? Should we not? And, the 1,001 questions that come along with it.
So that's actually a good segue here. I know, in general, your conversations with dealers, they're looking at their, 3, 5, 10-year plans. And now, growth and where do we go from here? And now you're probably dealing with a lot more of how do I get through and survive for the next 30, 60, 90 days, and let alone the next year. What kind of conversations are you having? What are you doing? You talked to me a little earlier about some of the programs that are available for small businesses. Certainly this is your wheelhouse. This is consulting dealers, advising them and letting them know about programs that are available to them. What kinds of work are you doing with them at this point with the virus?
Yeah, it's interesting. I will tell you first that, I can't even count how many hours, I've spent in researching this, and I'll put kind of a disclaimer out there for everybody to understand, is that the more data we get, the more these things change. So it's like the facts could be one way today, and then tomorrow it's completely different, and there's been a decision to change it. And so you've got to stay very current with what's happening. What the news and the plans, the way they were a week ago or a day ago, may not be the same as they are today. And I, by the way, anticipate once President Trump signs this next phase of funding, there's likely going to be some additional changes that come along with that. Well, but to answer the direct question, with our clients, it's really helping them understand that there is no cookie cutter, one size fits all approach to how you move forward. Every business is completely different with the makeup of your customer base. Obviously, if you've got a lot of K-12 university business, that they're going to be in the next couple of months, you're going to start seeing billings drop off. What happens with that?
Yeah.
So you need to understand your customer base, your current business model from a cash flow and all that. But then you got to really analyze these programs. You've got this Paycheck Protection Program that, I'll tell you from what I'm seeing, talking to folks, it was about almost a 50-50 split of who got funded in the first wave and who didn't. I'm hoping that those that didn't get funded in the first wave get it now in this next wave. But you have to be very strategic about how you utilize those monies. because if you don't utilize it correctly, you're not going to get the maximum forgiveness, which is the grant portion of that. So, that plays into your head counts and or your staffing. Are you going to furlough some employees or are you not? It's really it's a specific dealership by dealership modeling that needs to be done to understand it.
Well, it is, and we talked about that earlier, right? So, you've got big dealerships that are doing great. You've got big dealerships that are on the rope. You've got small dealerships that are, in big trouble. And you've got small dealerships that are going to come out of this a lot stronger than they were. It just depends on, like you said, who your customers are. If you're focused on verticals that are not shut down right now, you're probably doing well. If you were smart enough to, or just you had the insight to expand your business into other areas to offset maybe some of the losses in print, you're probably in a little bit better position right now than those who are completely only focused on print. So we are seeing, we're seeing dealers do everything from furloughing to laying off to doing nothing and just keeping their staff on. In some cases, in very small cases, we're seeing some companies actually expand, and what a great time to take advantage of some of the talent that may be out there, just because some of the, some dealers are unable to hold on to their people. We all know that the biggest issue for a dealership, right, is keeping talent. So why don't you talk about some of the, could you just give us some background on some of the, you mentioned the regulations coming through and maybe being able to offset hiring somebody new onto somebody else's fee.
Yeah, it's an interesting strategy I've gone over with a couple of our clients that are looking to expand. And as I've done some calculations with the PPP program, that's that Paycheck Protection Program, and the forgiveness that comes along with it. And in almost every situation that I've modeled it out, the utilities and the rent expenses for that 8-week period are not enough to get you 100% forgiveness on the loan. So one strategy that we're employing with some of our clients is that if you're looking to hire, now might be a really good time. Because as you mentioned, there's talent out there that's been released that didn't want to be. So there's folks that are out willing to talk. And you can also wind up now getting, if you put somebody on board and it increases your payroll during that 8-week period of the look back for the PPP forgiveness, that increased payroll will actually increase your forgiveness amount in a lot of cases. And in effect, you wound up getting a government subsidy to help you hire that new talent for a period of up to 8 weeks. So it's kind of an interesting way to, achieve the goal that the government's looking to achieve, which is keep people employed and off the unemployment rolls. So you're achieving that goal, I think, from an ethical standpoint of using the program for that. Some people would say, are you beating the system? I would say, no, I think you're actually using the system for what the government intended it for. Keep people off unemployment, but move them onto your payroll. And you get a good, talented person, you're going to get a little bit of a subsidy for the first part of getting them ramped up and going.
So you figured a way to subsidize having the government basically help you hire for when we, which will be helpful when you get out of this thing. And now you've got that talent that you were looking to add on earlier, and it's a great way to kind of offset the cost in doing that. So love that kind of stuff and the things that you do with acquisitions. And, thanks so much for taking the time to chat with us today. And we'll follow up and do another one of these, because I think the kind of information that you have is super useful for dealers. Why don't you give us a plug and, give us a way that they could get in touch with you.
You got a visitor there.
My assistant is here.
Nice.
First video he's been in so far.
All right, good job. I love it.
So give us how can people get in touch with you? Give us a number, email address, whatever. And this video will be posted on my website. People can watch it as often as they want, and then we'll do a follow up and we'll talk about another topic where you're able to help dealers, especially with this COVID-19.
Yeah, great. First, thank you for taking the time to do this and let me join you for it. I watch. I obviously see the newsletter all the time. I've watched a bunch of these videos that you've done. I think you're doing a great job of getting excellent information out there, and it's very useful to the dealer community. So keep up the good work doing what you're doing. But yeah, people want to reach out to us. Our website is prosperityplus.com. My email is jkahrs. It's JKAHRS @prosperityplus.com. And yeah, reach out. We've got some, I've done a number of webinars that we've got the data in these specifically. We've got recordings. So if anybody's looking for some more data, weren't able to catch any of that, let me know. We can send that out. And I would say most importantly, closing out everybody, this is a serious health situation. We need to make sure that, we're staying safe and healthy, taking care of our employees, taking care of our customers. And, if we do the right things, we'll come out of this just fine. So again, thank you for this. I appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure, Jim. And I couldn't agree with you more, on all that stuff. And, you're a really unique company, and you offer a lot of advice to dealers. You're not just somebody out there saying, well, this is what you should do. You've got data behind it. If you're a dealer right now and you're struggling and you might want to give Jim a call, he can, give you a little more insight and information onto some of these programs that are available to you. These programs are out there. They're made for companies like you. So Jim will help you get in touch with them. And if you can't get in touch with them directly, or you forget the number, you can always email me directly and I'll put you in touch with them. Jim, thank you so much. And we'll talk soon, buddy.
All right, great. Thanks.